Good day everyone, I am Miss Venzuelo and for today's video, we will be discussing orientation and mobility training as part of inclusive education. But before we dwell into the orientation and mobility training, I want you all first to share your insights about what is orientation and what is mobility. So you can put your answer below at the comment section. So when we say orientation, it is the person's ability to use his or her senses in knowing his or her position in a certain area or environment. So it is more on the placement of a person, understanding its placement around in a certain area or environment. Mobility, on the other hand, is the person's capability and readiness to move in a certain area or environment. So from changing his or her position in the area from one direction to the other direction. So their capability on how they move within that area or place to other place. So orientation and mobility are set of skills which allows individuals who are blind or has a low vision to independently and safely navigate their way through their environment. So through orientation and mobility training, they are taught of the different skills they need to be able to survive in this world. Even though they have difficult circumstances, they can still be able to do the things they want to do through such trainings. Trainings differ based on age. For the child or for the children, their training focus on concept development. For example, they are taught on the concept of a tree or they are taught on the concept of an animal which could help them identify the objects around their environment. Aside from that, they are also trained to sharpen their other senses. For example, their sense of touch or their sense of hearing or their sense of smell or their sense of taste. So with sharpening these senses would help them navigate and identify the things in their environment which could help them avoid necessary things and locate the things they need. So it also helps them sharpening their senses would also help them go from the other place to the other place, from one place to the other place. While on the adult, it is usually these are individuals who have lost their vision through time. So they subsequently need an assistance to navigate a new place. For example, a new workplace. For them to be able to identify or to position themselves in that new place, they need subsequent help. Maybe it be in a form of object or a person to be able to safely and independently navigate in that new environment and for them to be familiarized on the things in that specific environment. So we have an orientation and mobility specialist or ONN specialist. So these are professionals or highly trained to conduct trainings or orientation and mobility training and instruction. So they, aside from that, they also provide direct instruction in concept development, as I said earlier, environmental and community awareness, and motor development. So O&M specialist has different roles and responsibilities. First is conducting assessment. So assessment is very essential, especially in identifying the needs of the learners. Aside from that, it also helps the OM specialist to set goals and objectives and determine the level of service these students or the blind and visually impaired students needs to be able to achieve the individualized education program. The second one is to provide instruction. So they instruct students who are blind and visually impaired with different developmental skills and knowledge which enable them to confidently travel the familiar and unfamiliar environment safely, efficiently, and independently based on the assessed skills and ability. They also provide instructions such as environmental concepts, orientation skills, map reading skills, keen traveling skills, use of residual visions, and many more. The third one is collaboration, communication, on consultation. It allows the O&M specialist to create new ideas and strategies which would enable them to modify, adapt, and make considerations in improving the individualized education program. The fourth one is the acquisition of materials. It is more on preparing and acquiring materials needed for the instruction and the O&M or the O&M training. So materials such as tactile maps, models, distance low vision devices, and long gains that would help them deliver their training or instructions to the students. The fifth one is the environmental consideration. So they assist the site administrator and teachers in making appropriate accommodations for the student in all school-related environment. And lastly, the professional development. So it is maintaining awareness of the current professional materials and resources such as online resources, libraries, universities, and others. Aside from that, it also encourages collaboration among colleagues to obtain professional development opportunities and effective teaching strategies, tools, and equipment. So as O&M specialists, they need not just an OM specialist, but also the teachers and other school administrators who are involved in the learning of the students. They need a professional development to be updated on the different issues, not just issues, but different discoveries, new research about orientation and mobility training. So as teachers, it is important to be aware on how orientation and mobility training works for us to be able to guide or help our students and cater to their different needs, especially in today's education system wherein it encourages or it promotes inclusive education. So through orientation and mobility training, we will be guided or teachers will be guided on how to handle students who are blind and visually impaired. Aside from that, it also helps teachers to give proper instruction and develop the essential or adequate skills and knowledge needed by our blind and visually impaired learners to be able to safely and independently travel around their environment, which which could help them survive in this world. That would be all, and I hope you learned something from our discussion about orientation and mobility training.
A student walks with a cane around campus, followed by a woman.
My name is Jennifer Siff, and I'm an orientation and mobility specialist in the secondary program at Perkins. So orientation means knowing where you are in space, and mobility means knowing how to get around from place to place. So together, it is safe travel skills that we develop for people who are blind and visually impaired. Orientation and mobility, it's one of the main areas of focus of the expanded core curriculum. O&M is super important because it allows the students to access all the parts of their day. It allows them to do everything from get to the bathroom by themselves or get to lunch by themselves, get to their classes. It also teaches them really, really important life skills for adulthood, especially So if they want to be able to go to work by themselves, they need to learn those independent travel skills.
A student scans her ID on a pad to enter a building. A boy strides down a track with a cane. A girl pushes a cart next to a woman. Then another girl with a cane walks on a sidewalk.
Here at Perkins, O&M can look like a lot of different things, and especially here because we have such a wide variety of students with such a wide variety of abilities. So like for some of our students, O&M and independence might just mean like going from your bedroom to the bathroom, and for some of them it might be going to Logan Airport to fly across the country to go to college.
A boy with a cane navigates through a neighborhood, followed by a woman.
And it's our job to personalize those lessons for each student according to their need.
A girl with a cane and a woman cross a road.
Perkins School for the Blind, perkins.org.